So good morning, chemistry second year, English medium, unit is surface chemistry, topic is properties of colloidal solutions. So in the previous class, we started the properties of colloidal solutions and we completed Tyndall effect and Brownian movement. The remaining properties of colloidal solutions will be discussed now. Then here is electroporosis. Electroporosis, it is the another colloidal property, especially based on the electroporosis. Here is charge of a colloidal particle is confirmed by electroporosis experiment. Okay, colloidal particles are charged particles. So this is confirmed by electroporosis experiment. Okay, then when electric potential is applied across two platinum electrodes, these are the platinum electrodes, then dipping in a colloidal solution, the colloidal particles move towards one or the other electrode. Okay, yes, here is these are the two platinum electrodes. These two platinum electrodes are dipped in colloidal solution. Yes, these can be connected with here is a battery or electromotive force. Then yes, here is what so by applying EMF, so what happens? Then the movement of colloidal particles under an applied EMF, electromotive force, is called electroporosis. So how can we define electroporosis? Is then the movement of colloidal particles. The movement of colloidal particles in presence of electromotive force. Then yes, here is that is called as electroporosis. Yes, so this movement is possible by means of charge of the colloidal particles. Okay, if the colloidal particles are chargeless, then electroporosis is not observed. Okay, by this experiment the charge of the colloidal particles is confirmed. So how can we explain the electroporosis or cataporosis? Then so the movement of colloidal particles under an applied EMF is called electroporosis. The movement of colloidal particles under applied EMF is called electroporosis. Then what happened? Let's see. So this is the colloidal solution. So this colloidal solution is taken in U tube. Then yes, is a U-shape tube which is connected with a reservoir. Then through the reservoir, what happens? We can fill the colloidal solution. Then after that, yes, this is the stopcock. Next one is this U-shaped tube consists of two platinum electrodes. By passing the electricity, okay, when these two electrodes are connected with battery, yes, by passing electricity, what happens is then because of the this is the water is nothing but what? Dispersion medium. So these are the colloidal particles. Okay, yes, where this is the interface between there is a water and colloidal solution. Then at this stage here is a colloidal particles are moving. Yes, so these colloidal particles are moved towards what? Suppose if the colloidal particles are having is a positive charge or a positive colloidal solution. In general, here is a metals. In general, metal colloids are here is a positive colloids, whether they are gold colloid, then iron oxide. Okay, so silver colloids in general, so they are the positive colloids. So if it is taken in a positive colloid, so what happens is by passing the electricity, then the positive charged colloidal particles are moving towards cathode. Then if the here is what anode, if a negative charge colloid is taken and which is subjected with here is what electrophoresis experiment, then yes, here is a negative charged particles. Negative charged particles are moving towards, here is a anode. So this, based on this view, here is a colloidal particles are charged particles, that is confirmed. Then next one is colligative properties. Another properties of colloidal solutions is colligative property. Here is a colligative properties based on the number of particles of dispersed phase. Okay, yes, when in general in true solutions solvent and solute can form the homogeneous mixture. Okay, yes, the number of particles are, yes, the number of solute particles are maximum when compared with colloidal solution. Yes, that's why, yes, in true solutions here is a colligative properties values are maximum, because then suppose if the colloidal solution and the true solution both are taken at a same concentration, then it's a true solutions colligative properties values are high than the colloidal solution. The reason is what, in colloidal solution, yes, colloidal particles being aggregate, they can form the cluster like structure. Okay, they can form the cluster like structure. That's why, because of the aggregation of colloidal particles, the number of particles present in colloidal solution is less. That's why their colligative properties values also less. Okay, so what are the colligative properties? Then depression in freezing point, elevation in boiling point, relative lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, then these are considered as, here is a colligative properties. These colligative properties depend upon the number of solute particles or number of dispersed phase particles. In colloidal solutions, so these are values of relative lowering of vapor pressure, depression in freezing point, elevation in boiling point, values are smaller when compared with true solutions. In true solutions, there is no aggregation of solute particles. That's why their colligative properties values are high. Then next one is, another one is a color property of the colloidal solutions. So the color of the colloidal solution depends upon wavelength of light scattered by dispersed particles. Okay, the color of the colloidal particles basically depend upon the light. Here is what, wavelength of light scattered by dispersed particles. Okay, then so the wavelength of light is the main factor which causes the color of the colloidal solutions. Then the wavelength is depend upon size and shape of the particles. Okay, the wavelength of light is depend upon size and shape of the particles. In general, the shorter wavelength light is scattered by larger particles. Then yes, the longer wavelength light is scattered by smaller, here is a smaller particles. Okay, then next one, the spherical shape particles. The spherical shape, example, the spherical shape particles are scattered. Then yes, here is a red light scatters the spherical shape particles. Then disc like particles scatter the blue light. Okay, blue light. So this is about color of the colloidal solutions. Okay, so color of the colloidal solution is depend upon the wavelength of light scattered by the dispersed phase particles. Okay. Okay, dispersed phase particles. The wavelength is depend upon size and shape of the particles. Size and shape of the particles. Then yes, spherical shape particles scatters the red light. Then disc-like particles scatter the blue light. So these are the yes, here is the properties of colloidal solutions: electrophoresis, colligative properties, color. Okay, is based on electrophoresis, then colloidal particles are charged particles. Then is based on colligative properties. In general, the colloidal solutions are being aggregates. Okay, so colloidal particles aggregate with one another and form the cluster like structure. Then yes, the number of particles are less in the solution than when compared with the true solutions. That's why their colligative property values are less. Then color, then color is depend upon the wavelength of light scattered by dispersed particles. Yes, one only just one of the property is left, that is a coagulation or precipitation or flocculation. Okay, then let's see what is meant by coagulation or precipitation. Then the colloidal particles possess electrical charge, that is positive or negative. If this charge is neutralized, the particles will come nearer to each other to form aggregates or coagulate and settle down under the force of gravity. Okay, then by electrophoresis experiment, colloidal particles are charged particles, that is confirmed. Okay, so when the charge of the particles are neutralized, as a result of that, the particles will come nearer to form, yes, here is to form aggregation or to form a cluster like structure. Then that is nothing but here is a coagulation. Okay, when the colloidal particles are neutralized, the particles will come nearer to each other to form aggregates or coagulates and settle down under the force of gravity. Ante then in order to precipitate the colloidal solution, then the charge of the particles must be neutralized. Then only coagulation is happened. Then let's see definition of coagulation. The process of settling down of colloidal particles is called coagulation or precipitation or flocculation of the soul. Okay, then the process of settling down of colloidal particles. The process of settling down of colloidal particles is called coagulation. When the colloid is in colloidal state, in general, it looks like here is here is a somewhat solution type, whereas when it is settled down, then what happens? Then simply here is a dispersion medium and a dispersed phase both can be easily differentiated. Whereas in colloidal state, dispersion medium and a dispersion phase is somewhat mixing. Okay, whereas in coagulation process is happened, then completely dispersion phase is completely settled down. Okay, so this process is called as coagulation. Okay, the process of settling down of colloidal particles is called coagulation. Okay, then next one, this coagulation is happened by means of electrophoresis. by means of electrophoresis. Already we discussed electrophoresis. By passing the applied EMF, then what happens? Then yes, the charged particles, suppose if the colloid is having a cations, then the cations are turned towards the cathode. Then on the cathode electrode, here is a colloidal particles are deposited. Then that is called as here is a coagulation. So while the electrophoresis process, then next one, by mixing two oppositely charged salts. By mixing two oppositely charged salts. Suppose when the colloidal solution is what is a cationic or positive charged salt, then in the equal amount of negative charged salt is mixed. Negative charged salt is mixed. What happens? Coagulation is happened. Then the dispersed phase, total dispersed phase is settled down. That is coagulation is happened. Then next one, by addition of electrolytes. Okay, then when here is a excess amount of electrolytes are added to the colloidal solution, that causes here is a precipitation or coagulation or flocculation. Okay, then suppose a little quantity of electrolytes causes stability of colloids. When the excess of electrolytes are added to the colloidal solution, then it's a colloidal solution gets coagulation. It destabilizes. Okay, then next one, here is a by boiling also, here is what coagulation is happened, because when the heat is supplied, yes, what happens? Then the movement of dispersed phase and dispersion medium particles is increased. Then next, as a result of that, charge can be lost and the coagulation is happened. Then by prolonged dialysis, dialysis process is already discussed in the purification of colloids. So we discussed the dialysis. So dialysis process is in general, by this process, then we can remove the electrolytes. From the colloidal solution. Okay, then by prolonged dialysis, what happens is, then the total here is a electrolytes. Total electrolytes are entered into the here is a water. Then next one again, so this causes also destabilization of colloids and causes here is a coagulation. Then next one is a ion responsible for the neutralization of charge on the particles is called coagulating ion. So coagulating ion is, so here is what the ion responsible for the neutralization. Suppose if the colloidal solution is positive charged colloid, then yes, in order to coagulate it, here is a negative charged ions are added, or the negative charged anion of salt involved in the coagulation, involved in the reaction with positive charged particles, that causes here is a coagulation. That's why here is a ion responsible for neutralization of charge on the particles is called coagulating ion. So coagulating ion means what? Then so the ion which is responsible for the neutralization of colloidal particles charge, that is called as coagulating ion.